PokeRamble Podcast.
On this week's episode, we will be listening to the English Pokemon openings and ranking what we think are the top Tyrana-tunes before your ears go Numel. Let's look at the week's news before that. Welcome to the PokeRamble Podcast. I'm your host, Kamel, and I'm joined as ever by my co-host, the Frontier Brain himself, Amit. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, it's another podcast. I'm always excited. I'm so excited every Sunday evening to do this.
Are you excited that I got that in the first take? As opposed to last week, which was
impressed.
like 3 or 4?
Yeah.
Thank you.
What?
I was going to be a diva and be like, no, I need another try, but I thought, yeah, let's not do
No,
that.
it's good.
Let's not do
You
that.
had 2 puns in that intro you had to manage as well. It was good.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting show because there wasn't much news this week. There was a bit of news which we'll quickly go through before we get to the main topic. But this main topic is something I've wanted to do for quite some time, so I'm quite excited by it.
Yeah, you've been talking about this one for a while.
So it's just nice that we're at a place now where it's finally come to fruition. Touch wood, I guess. But yeah, should we get right into our first ever section? I mean, you can say yes or no if you want.
Yeah, well, let's do it. Let's do it. Sorry.
Right, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the podcast from news. So, first up on the podcast from news, Shiny Zeraora is out in Pokemon Home. And you've got till Monday to, end of Monday to get it. But have you claimed yours, Amit? That's my question here.
I have. It was actually surprisingly straightforward. I thought with Pokemon Home it might be a bit confusing. Super easy. There's a notification in the app saying, click here, click to get Zeraora. Nice and straightforward. I was also really impressed with the fact that you can get your Amoritor and that Pokemon Home generates the code for you to go and enter into the main game. It's a nice way for them to do it as well. It was really smooth. It's good.
I mean, just on that as well, I think they've updated Pokemon Home to give you a notification now to tell you you've got something waiting for you. Because if you remember when Pokemon Home first came out, if you did have something in the mystery box or whatever it's called, it wouldn't notify you. You would have to just find it. And it wasn't always the thank you for the follow, Simple Ted. It wasn't always the easiest way of finding things. So credits to them for making a notification for that. And yeah, it's a cool looking Pokemon.
Yeah, no, it was good. It is.
And
yes,
interestingly enough, it's actually rarer than the non-shiny variant. So it's less rare than the non-shiny variant.
Yeah, I was trying to get my head around this because obviously the release for Zeraora in Sun and Moon, I'm assuming very, very few people relative to the number who are playing Sword and Shield actually picked it up because it was quite a late release.
Yeah.
So it is weird to think there'd be more white Zeraoras running around than yellows. But hey, power to it.
All Zeraoras are good Zeraoras. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next bit, which is the max raid battles have been updated to focus on Rock and Steel types, with a focus on GMAX Copperaja and GMAX Colossal. So if you haven't got those 2 GMAXs, now's your opportunity to get them much more easier. So yeah, have fun with that. But the next thing on that is competitive rule set for Season 5. What's going on with this, buddy?
Yeah, we're into Series 5 of the Pokemon VGC rule set, which is exciting. For the first time, every Gigantamax Pokemon is completely legal. That includes, as you can see on your screen, Gigantamax Blastoise, Venusaur, lots of others in the roster that you can use, including Urshifu, newly released in the Isle of Armor DLC. So yeah, really exciting that we've got a rule set that kind of is everything that's out there. Isle of Armor Pokemon from the base game. I think there's around, I want to say 500 Pokemon that are sort of legal. And it's good fun. There's some really unique teams running around. Lots of Trick Room, people taking advantage of the new moves that came out in the Isle of Armor. It's good fun. It's nice to see some a breath of fresh air for creativity and team building, because it really is sort of a reset with a whole 100 new Pokemon to use. It really does shake the rule set up. So let's see where that takes us, but I'm having a lot of fun already.
Advanced warning, I'm going to be talking to you next week about which Pokemon you recommend for this new rule set. New Pokemon you recommend for this new rule set, so that's your homework. But we'll talk about that next week, because we are trying to get to the main topic quite quickly today.
Yeah, of course.
So we'll go to our next section, shall we?
Absolutely.
God, the transitions are actually quite hard. But first thing on this section, which is called "What's Pokemon Going On," is that the Ghastly Community Day and has been announced for July 19th. Now we knew Ghastly was coming to Pokemon Go for Community Day, and it's going to be accompanied by a research task called the Great Ghastly. And yes, that is a pun that Pokemon Company has made, so credit to them for that great pun. When it's evolved into a Gengar, it's going to learn a special move called Shadow Punch, which I've consulted my Pokemon Go friend who's an expert, who says it's going to be very good for PvP. So if you're into your PvP, don't miss Community Day for one of those Ghastlies. Also with that, you've got Kyurem coming to raids on Tuesday, and actually for this month, if you complete 7 days worth of research, you'll be getting a Larvitar as a research breakthrough that can be shiny. So yeah, make sure you don't miss out on that. But in a week's time, we're going to have something called the second Go Fest research event. Do you want to tell me more about that, Amit?
Yeah, so from the 10th of July to the 15th of July, the second Pokemon Go Fest weekly challenge is coming, and it's going to be battle themed. So there'll be three sets of tasks, all battle timed research. So you basically, I'm assuming, will have to do battles, either PvP or otherwise. And if you complete the tasks, you'll get encounters with Hitmonlee and Absol. You'll earn a super rocket radar and several other items to be announced. But also, as an extra incentive, if 1 million players from each of the three teams complete the challenges, then during GoFest, if Team Instinct have 1 million people completing it, then Ferocity will turn up. If 1 million players from Team Mystic complete the tasks, then Alola and Grimer will show up. And if 1 million players from Team Valor complete it, then Alola and Marowak will show up. So lots of incentives to go and do it. And as an extra bonus, you'll also get access to some elite battle challenges, which the Pokemon Company say are for bragging rights, but I'm assuming that there'll be some cool reward for that as well. And to go alongside this event, there is a battle-themed event on the 12th of July, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. local time. So lots of exciting things for Pokemon Go Fest. And the weekly challenge, this battle-themed weekly challenge coming up next week.
So I just want to give you a bit of credit there, because the press release for this whole week 2 of the Pokemon Go Fest event was just words everywhere. So the fact you managed to condense that down to a minute is actually very, 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 very impressive. So yeah, I just want to give you credit on that before we move on. But now we are moving on. No more credit for you.
Newscasting. Yeah, efficient newscasting. I'm all about it.
TCG. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. We've got some more cards. What are these, Amit?
Yeah, more cards from Legendary Heartbeat, or as I now see it being called Legendary Beat. I just wanted to show off these cards because they look really cool. And the full set's been announced now, so you can go and check out the full card list. It's on all of your good news sources, but just some really good ones. So I tried to pick some ones that weren't VMAX or full art, specifically because I thought some of these were really cool.
I think a lot of these artworks don't get enough credit because of the big shiny cards and whatnot, but there's so much good artwork outside of the VMAX cards and full arts and whatnot.
I was just looking at Manectric and I was just and actually I really like Lycanroc as well, and just
Lycanroc is awesome,
so well drawn, so sort of lifelike, and it's really nice. I know a lot of time and effort goes into designing these cards, and I'm glad that whenever we can, we get a chance to show them off. They have also announced a full art Alistair, which you can see on the left of your screens at the moment.
I was going to say, I can't believe they gave Jigsaw a full art.
Yeah,
no mind.
It's but it's super cool. It's nice to have. It's nice to be able to spotlight these because I do really appreciate the time and effort that goes into them, and I wish that I had the money to just collect Pokemon cards.
I was going to say I might get a couple of packets just for the sake of it.
Yeah, I think for this set, it's probably worth it. They're really nice.
If you can pick one card on the screen right now, which one would you pick?
Probably from a personal perspective, I'd get Manectric. Manectric's always had a special place in my heart, so probably Manectric. But I do really like Lycanroc as well.
I'd probably go Dialga just because it just looks so epic, especially for the background and whatnot.
Yeah, good choice.
But that's it for the TCG section. Let's move on.
All right.
It's time for the podcast form news roundup. Okay, first on the roundup is this Pokemon Calf news. What's going on, buddy?
there's a Score Bunny event coming to Pokemon Cafe. The game's only been out, what, a week and a half, and already we've got the first event. So a chance, I believe, to get Score Bunny to visit your cafe. And I think if you complete the event successfully, he may or may not join your cafe. But lots of it's nice to have another game to talk about. I know that last week we kind of said Cafe Mix wasn't for us, but great that they're going to have events for this game. It'll keep people interested, and keep it fresh. So lots of good news there.
Indeed. And the other thing, from the Pokemon Masters Japan account, they've revealed that Cobalion's the next legendary arena boss in Pokemon Masters. There's no date just yet, but I think we both speculate that will probably be on Tuesday with the other Steel type event ending. But there was a video as well on the Pokemon Masters Japan account, which I think people should go and check out, just because of the new music in the game, which is sort of like a remix or an ode to the original Gen 5 legendary music, which we both agree was pretty good.
Yeah, and they said the advice was to keep your fire types well trained. There's a fire training event on at the moment, because you'll obviously need them for this Cobalion legendary event. So it's exciting. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we hopefully if it releases by next week, we can talk about it. Talk about it happening. Sorry, I just stopped there because we got one subscriber. Thank you very much, Robin Gio. Yeah.
Is that our first official?
No, we've got quite a few subscribers, to be fair. Okay. But I think maybe the first one on the podcast that we record live.
Well, shout out to Robin_GL. Thank you for subscribing.
And with that, we'll move on to the new section. And this is dubbed "Thou Art Amazing." Get it? Because
okay, I get it. Yeah. That pun wasn't as awful as I thought it was going to be.
No, it's quite a sensible pun, to be fair.
Thou art amazing. I thought there was going to be a Smeagol reference.
I should
Do you want to explain what the section's about?
I should just shout out, actually, because the subscriber notifications are actually pretty new. I got the art done by someone called Phil J. Woodward on Twitter, so check him out. Or if you press ! Art, if you're on the Twitch chat, you can find these details there. He did a stellar job. But yeah, this section is basically going to be a section where we just shout out people for their amazing fan art or art they do for the Pokemon games. And on this week's Thou Art Amazing section, we're shouting out someone called Kei Mochizuki, who did a art piece of Serena and Jasmine for the Pokemon Masters event that's currently going on. And honestly, it just looks amazing. It's got a very nice, neat art style. It's not an art style you see every day either. So yeah, it's very neat. I
think it complements Pokemon Masters really nicely, actually. It's a really nice piece of art.
Yeah, and I'll be putting a link to the original post at the bottom of this episode. But if you want to go retweet it, you can find it on both the Pokemon Masters Twitter or the Japan Pokemon Masters Twitter. So yeah, definitely shout out to for this person for the amazing art. But without any further ado, let's get to the moment everybody's been waiting for.
Here we go.
So this section is called "The Neighbors Are Complaining That You're Being Too Loud, Red."
Oh God! Did we need to title it? Did we need to give you an opportunity for another pun?
Well, it's too late to change things now. So
here we go.
Yeah. So here we go. So basically, this section is going to be a tier list for the English anime openings. Now, growing up, Pokemon was basically, my favorite show. And I've stopped watching the English version for quite some time, but I go back and listen to the English openings all the time, and it's quite interesting to see how over the years it's sort of evolved and changed. So I thought, what better way of celebrating the Pokemon anime of Pokemon Journeys, being the latest season, than to go back and look at all the other openings that we had before this one.
Yeah, it was crazy to me that you actually, I don't think, had heard some of the English openings because you obviously watched the Japanese version.
Yeah, I transitioned that the XY era. That's when I sort of swapped from English to Japanese.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, the songs, particularly more recently for the Japanese version of the anime versus the dub, they're completely different. It's not that they take the same music and they just change the words.
No, it's completely original, isn't it?
Yes, so for the purposes of this discussion, we'll be focusing purely on the English intros.
Yeah, indeed. The Japanese intros can come out another time. In fact, I'm not even motivated to actually do them, to be fair, because I didn't actually watch from the beginning. I only gotten well late. But without further ado, so we've got the list down here. There's 22 different English openings in total. Cover for me for a second, Amit.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we talked about when we set this up, what would be the best way to do it, and then obviously we had the discussion about, well, can we even put the first intro on the table, because it's obviously so iconic and so important. It almost feels unfair to compare anything to it. It kind of wins by default. So I'm curious, Kamal, did you actually make a decision on that?
We're gonna put it as S tier, obviously, but I don't think it's gonna be S tier number one in the S tier. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think there's any harm putting something else in the S tier behind, obviously, the original opening.
No, absolutely. But go on.
No, go for it, because I was just about to transition, really.
That's okay. So, no, I was just going to say, it's nice because I obviously went back and listened to them all again to refresh my memory. And I really like how nostalgic some of these themes are.
Oh,
It
yeah.
really sort of gets you into and what I like is that they really do go alongside the themes of each of the series.
For
Like
better or
I do
worse.
get a yeah. I've just seen in the chat, by the way, that people are calling out for the Pokemon Sleep update.
It's coming
It will be
after
coming
this.
after this feature. Don't worry, we have not forgotten Pokemon Sleep. We are not the Pokemon company. We will be updating you later in the podcast.
So, without further ado, should we go?
Where do we start?
So the first thing on the tier list is the 10th opening, which was from Diamond and Pearl. So that was the first one. Now, what's your immediate impression of that? I think that sits as a solid B tier opening.
It's definitely not one of my favorites.
No.
Particularly after the sort of high action, fast paced ones from Pokemon Advanced. Yeah, Robin GL makes a good point. Nintendo are absolutely going to copyright strike us. It's great.
We don't mind. It's fine.
We don't do this for the money. We do this for just your entertainment. It's fine. No, I think it. Yeah, I'm torn between B or C tier. It's definitely not one of my favorites.
We'll put it at.
Let's put it at B tier for now, and if we have to adjust it, we will.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Claw in the chat also says it's a solid B. So we'll keep it on the B tier, and we'll come back to it. So let's go for the next one, shall we? Oh, I need a minute. Man,
I forgot it was.
That's where the Pokemon Masters intro comes from, by the way, if anyone didn't know. Oh, I think we've lost Amit there.
No, I'm here. You can hear me.
No, okay, yeah. So, where are we putting this one, buddy?
Yeah, definitely B or C. I think I think I would. Where do you think it goes?
I think it goes like A, and I was going to put it at S tier, but I see the
I don't think
chat's
it's
rebelling.
S tier. I don't think it's S tier. I don't know. Again, it's just one of those where I think it's really nice, but I don't think it's one of the most sort of iconic and memorable ones.
You're crazy. I think the whole chat. I might be the crazy one actually. Can we agree to put it at B at least, so we're not breaking my heart?
Let's put it ahead of Diamond and Pearl in the B tier.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The next one is actually opening 11, and this should be It's going to C. There's no way it's going up to B tier. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm going to be controversial. I actually prefer that to the base Diamond and Pearl one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think just because it feels more like akin to the Pokemon anime, whereas I feel like the Diamond and Pearl one was just so sort of bizarre.
Okay.
It doesn't really fit with that. Whereas I feel like at least the sort of message in this, we will be heroes and all that stuff, kind of fits with it. It makes sense.
Oh my God.
But I can see the chat is screaming sort of C, F. I'm going to lose this argument. It's going to end up at least in C tier, isn't it?
I think we're nothing if not democratic here on the PokeRamble podcast.
True. No, it's true.
And Billy Door's asking for an F. The tribe. Well, hang on a minute. Forget everyone else. The tribesman has spoken. The tribesman has spoken. It's C tier. It's C tier. When the tribesman speaks, you have to listen. Unless it's not convenient for me, then I ignore the tribesman.
Chat is hard for either a C or an F. So
yeah, it's
C seems like a fair.
Don't worry, the Fs are coming. The Fs are coming. Okay, let's go next one. Come on, dude. There's only one right answer here, and the chat's doing it justice here. You got Claw saying A tier or S, Billy the Door saying it's excellent, Robin GL saying S tier for Totodile, Billy the Door certified Bob Ultra Tribesman says this is Rescue Rangers level. I don't know what that means.
Dude, Pokemon Rescue Rangers is a great game.
Oh god. Oh, is that what it was called?
No, I'm thinking of something else, wasn't
I have no idea. But let's not even argue. You agree it's an S rank, don't you?
Yeah, it's definitely S rank. I'm happy to sit on S rank. It won't be the top one in S rank for sure, but it's definitely in the S rank.
It's S rank. I'm glad everyone agrees, and you know, Philip J. Woodward also given it a triple S. So you know, Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Pokemon Rescue Rangers was a ROM hack.
I see.
It's super fun. Just go check it out.
We just got another subscriber. Thank you very much, Billy the Dwarfs, for giving Philip J. Woodward a subscription. Thank you very much. And if you like that little art piece you saw for the sub, let's just put that in there. That was done by Philip J. Woodward.
I think Billy the Door just gifted 5 subs actually.
I think it was previously he did the 5 subs, the kind door. But this time it was 1 sub, so it's 6 in total he's given.
Very kind. Yeah. Very kind.
So yeah, no. S tier, just like Billy the Door in the chat is. So we'll go for the next one, which is opening 12. That. Can I just give a shout out to Jay being in that trailer and how intimidating she actually was in the anime? I was terrified of her.
Hunter J was one of those bad guys. He was an actual bad guy who made bad things happen.
Sorry. Oh god, where are we putting it?
No, what was so funny about that? Come on.
It was a bad guy it was an actual bad guy that made bad things happen.
Yeah, but like whenever Team Rocket did something bad, it just got reset at the end of the episode.
Described using the word bad like 15 different times. Like I used the word cool. It was funny, but I was terrified of her for sure. Never forget, she kidnapped a God of War.
The first 10 seconds of that intro is probably F tier.
Yeah.
The remainder of it is probably somewhere in the A tier, maybe.
Oh no, really?
I like the second half.
The
first bit is so tragic.
Yeah.
The first half is so tragic that it just can't sit above. It can't sit above B tier. It's either B or C in my mind.
Right. So the chat's saying Robin Gel's giving it an S, Clar's giving it a B, Billy the Door's cool with a B, or maybe C. I think just on that, Ben, with your opinions and the chat opinions, we'll have to give it a B behind the second opening.
Yeah, bottom of the B tier for
bottom
now.
Of B tier. Okay, fine. God, chat, get ready for the Fs. We're going for the next opening, which is the 20th, I believe. Entire time. I just.
Do you know my favorite thing about all the Pokemon anime intros is that they always sort of have the song and then at the very end go Pokemon, like they've forgotten to put it in the rest of the song.
Yeah. just okay. Oh guys, we've got Pokemon. Right.
I'm gonna be super controversial here.
Keep going. It just means I'm gonna have Philip on as a host, to be honest with you.
Kicked off the podcast. I don't think it's F tier.
Okay, I respect your opinions.
I'll base that on 2 things.
Okay,
One, because I feel like it felt more. Okay, I'm not gonna say it's Hawaiian themed, but it felt more tropical than a standard intro. You're like, I'm not even listening. I'm putting it in F tier. And also, there is a lot worse to come. So I think it's bottom of the C tier. I don't think it's F tier.
Right. As we said, the PokeRamble Podcast is a democracy. Billy the Door said an F. The tribesman put an F. Philip J. Woodward went one further and put negative S tier. I'm sorry, Amit. I'm so sorry.
I've been outvoted. All right, it's in the bottom tier.
If I had to sacrifice Pokemon World, you have to sacrifice this one, buddy. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I think it's one of those things where, because I listened to it for however many episodes it was, 24, I can't remember, for 24, 48.
Yeah.
It grew on. It definitely grew on me.
Yeah.
And I agree. If you hear it in isolation, I agree that it sucks. But actually, it really sort of grew on me as the series went on. Whereas there's other intros where I've been like, no, I just skip it. But actually, this one grew on me.
Oh
Hey,
my
I lost the
God.
argument. I'm okay with it.
The Tribesman. The Tribesman. An afterthought of a theme song, if I've ever heard one. Oh my God.
Listen,
That was
believe
brutal.
me, we have not got to the worst yet.
No. And in fact, it was wrong of me to say anything before we play the intro, because I shouldn't be conditioning the chat like that, so I won't say anything. But we're going to go to the next opening, which is opening 8. Like WH. Never mind. What? How do you put? I was supposed to put HAWT. I've learned how to talk, but I've forgotten how to spell. You see. What's your thoughts?
Okay.
What's your thoughts?
Oh, so this is the first one where I've just sat back and just sung along because I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Thanks for putting yourself on mute.
Definitely for me. No, of course, anything for you. But this is definitely for me. So I would love for it to go ahead of intro 3, personally.
You're talking mad here, brother. You're talking mad here, brother.
Who, me?
Yeah. I think my only criticism with the song is the advanced battle. Did say it too many times in the intro, but it's like definitely top tier. I'd put it at A. I'd say.
I can see some A's in the chat. I can see a mix. So, all right, if we're going to settle on A, then I guess that is what it is.
And the tribesman gives us a reason. He says some parts were great, but too much as a whole. Philip J. Woodward gave it a solid A, and Clark gave it, he knocked it down from S tier to A tier because it reminded him of Tracy, which I think is quite wrong of him. But okay. We'll put it in.
Oh, poor Tracy.
Yeah.
Everyone misses Brocco. One thing I should say is that there is a full version of this song that is like, I think 3.5 minutes. That is worth checking out because it is quite cool. But yeah, I'll settle for A tier.
Cool. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this was Sun and Moon tier, but if Sun and Moon songs, but if you listen to the counterparts, I mean that's part of the reason why I just give it Fs. Because it's just like, how have they butchered something? They butchered my child. How do you find that?
I mean, maybe I'm just a sucker for Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Maybe that's what it is, because I actually still quite like that theme song. I recognise that for most people, that's probably going to be maybe an A or a B tier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's an F in the chat as well, actually.
Oh no. Oh no!
I mean, I can understand people saying it's probably B tier. I mean, I like it personally, but I can understand people saying maybe it's B tier.
Do you know what? I can get along with B tier. But whereabouts in B tier are we putting it? Are we putting it ahead of Diamond and Pearl? Because I'm very tempted to put it ahead of Diamond and Pearl.
I definitely want to put it ahead of Diamond and Pearl.
We'll go for Diamond and Pearl. Just to shout out the chat, Philip J. Woodward B, Billy the Door F, Al Tribesman C, and Klaus says A, but he wouldn't be mad with B. So yeah, we'll put it at B ahead of the Diamond and Pearl series. As we said here on the podcast, we're nothing if not democratic. And we'll go to the next one, which is actually going to be interesting. God help me. How do you feel?
I think I agree with chat that it's maybe not F tier. It's not. I think there are bits of this that are quite good, and there are bits of it that are just awful.
Yeah. And just to clarify, we're not going off the full version of the song either. That wouldn't be fair. We're going off what we see from the TV show, and that's all we're gonna give it. That's all the sort of leeway he gets. It's from the TV show. Forget the full version of the song. Just from the TV show, how do you rank it?
I love the chat questioning which bits were good. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. I was definitely singing along to it because I know this one. There were little bits of it that I like. There are little. It's whether it's at the bottom of the C tier or whether
There's
it's
not even
D tier.
enough of the song to like. Is like Cartoon
It's
Network
true,
at a certain
sure.
point just put them down to 30 seconds, which I was like, this is insanity. This is crazy.
Yeah, so most of them are all standard 30 seconds now as an intro.
Oh dear. So Philip J. Wood wants me to give that one the big D, which is F tier. We've got F in the chat from Billy the Dawn and Al the Tribesman. And I just think we can't disagree here. We have to.
No,
I
I can understand.
It
So
goes
is
ahead
it going
of the Sun
ahead
and
of
Moon
Sun?
trailer.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I can understand that.
Oh god, talking to Sun and Moon. Let's go. You know what, right? I gave this a couple of listens last night, and I don't know if it's because the other two are so awful, but this one I can actually stomach, and the sort of sound of it as well, past the beginning of the tapabulu, tapale, past that bit, I'm like, okay, and then when it ramps up at the end, I'm like, oh
Yeah, I think I agree with it ramping up. It definitely starts questionable. But again, it's one of those where, having listened to it however many 48 times, I actually really like it. I do think it's got a nice beat to it. So yeah, I think chat is saying B tier. I wouldn't disagree.
You know what? I before yesterday was going to put it C/D tier, but I have to agree now. I'm very much in the B tier, but I think it has to go under advanced.
I think it has to go ahead of Galactic. Yeah, I put it. I think that's fine.
I'll put it over Diamond and Pearl series.
Yeah, I think ahead of Diamond and Pearl is good.
Okay, cool. Philip J. Woodward says that one at least made me laugh. Believe the Door doesn't have any complaints, so does Clar.
I know.
Robin
I know
J.
we're
says
doing
B or
this.
higher. Oh, wow.
I know we're doing this predominantly.
Sorry, go ahead, buddy. Go on.
Because I know we're doing this predominantly on the music, but I do actually think the video for that is quite good.
I think
as well.
you do need to give the video a bit of credit as well. There's definitely some good videos in this. But yeah, Billy Dawes says I'm actually opposite. It started as an F and then landed on the B/C range. But Al Tribesman actually thought it began with like A tier and then slowly turned into a B for him. So that's fair enough. It's interesting to get different people's opinions on this.
The thing is, the nice thing about it is that the beginning is different. It's something you've never had in a different. It's different to every other Pokemon theme.
Because Pokemon themes are usually you've got your guitars, you've got your drums, high energy, sort of very energetic sounds. This is more a relaxed one,
Yeah, and it was obviously it came after the Series 20, which we put in the F tier, which was the Scar one, upbeat and energetic.
Yeah.
And actually, this was really different and quite catchy. And particularly because I thought Season 20 sounded so childish. Actually, this sounded a bit more mature, and I liked that. I know that's quite a specific point to make, but
yeah, because this one's the second opening out of the lot, isn't it? So it definitely is a huge improvement over what you had previous to this.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, we'll go to opening 17, and I think most people will be surprised at how this is gonna sound. Is obviously it's a rendition of the first ever opening that we got, the original Pokemon theme. But actually in Japan they did the same thing where they remixed the first ever Japanese intro as well. So X and Y is quite unique X and Y is quite unique in the fact that both the Japanese intro and the English intro for X and Y both had new renditions of a classic. So where are you putting this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the chat half as I do this. I mean, I loved it. I mean, it was a really sort of fresh remix. I really liked that they weren't afraid to mess with it. It's slightly more energetic than the original as well.
Clark made that point, didn't he?
And the point, I think the point for me that really pushed it into the S tier is I think the visuals for it are fantastic. Like you've got the burn of Mega Evolution, you've got some really nice scenic bits, you've got good battle scenes. For me, the visuals is what pushes it into the S tier for me.
See, I was going to put it at A tier because even though it's a rendition of the original Pokemon theme and it's a fantastic song, it just doesn't feel like it encapsulates all of what I originally had, and it's definitely a nostalgia trip. But I can see in the chat that you got the Tribesman saying B, you've got Clark saying A, Philip J. Woodward saying S for nostalgia. How would you feel about putting it in A for now? At the top of A?
Yeah, I'll settle with the top of A.
Top of A?
I'll settle with top of A. Yeah.
Cool. But I definitely agree with the visuals, especially the Mega Evolution bit in there, just showing you where we've come from and showing you how things have evolved. No pun intended.
That was definitely my favorite part of the intros. I think the visuals are really well done.
And if anyone hasn't seen the X and Y series, I mean, it's a fantastic jumping on point. If you ever want to go back to watch Pokemon, definitely one of the best seasons since the original. Absolutely.
So, in all seriousness, go a couple of episodes before that when Ash reunites with Charizard and Unova, then start watching from there and go into X and Y.
I just can't. I can never recommend Black and White for people.
I know you don't, but honestly, when Ash reunites with Charizard, I feel like good again.
Yeah, fair. Okay, we'll keep it at A.
And X and Y is phenomenal. So go watch it.
Yeah. So we'll go to the next one. Needed right up there. Holy god, it just encapsulates everything about Pokemon: the mystery, the hypeness of it, the fact that Butterfree lifts and can actually lift a Squirtle, a Bulbasaur, which is crazy. But yeah, it's S tier, isn't it?
You know the bit that really bothers me about that is Butterfree doesn't have feet or hands. Wait, is it Butterfree? There's one Pokemon. No, Zubat. Yeah. Zubat, that's it.
Listen, we don't
that's what bothers me about that.
Squirtle has sticky hold or something. I don't know. He's wearing something that's attaching him to that Zubat.
Let's not talk about where Pikachu used thunder and killed a golem at the beginning of the first movie.
What happened? I'm just looking at the chat here. You know, you've got Robin GL saying it's an F. So I don't know if you know how to use your moderator privileges, Amit, but if you want to just go ahead. I was
literally typing /ban and I was like, do I know how to do this? Do I know how to undo it? How can I do it? I don't know how to undo it.
I don't think you need to undo it, to be fair. No, but he does say it's an S. Al Tribesman says it's an S. Class says it's an S. Billy the Dwarf says, if this isn't an S, I don't know what I'll do. And yeah, Philip J. Woodward, triple S for style. So heartfelt and punchy. Yeah, absolutely. It's an S. It's an S.
Where it all began.
To the next one, which is opening 16. You to say something about that?
Go ahead.
No, I want you to say something. I can't say anything right now. I just need a moment.
The redeeming feature of that intro is the epic shot of Professor Oak's lab where you see every Pokemon that Ash has ever caught, which I actually really like because you don't get that very often in the anime, and it's nice to see all of his Pokemon there. Like Quilava's hanging out, Charizard's there, Bulbasaur's there. That's a nice moment.
I've got a question in the chat for you. Robin Jill asks, did Dua Lipa, I don't know how to say her name, sample the OO part?
I don't think so.
No.
But yeah,
listen, the chat's revolting. I don't want to be cancelled on the internet. It has to go in the F tier. Sorry. And it's going.
It does need to go.
It's going above the Sun and Moon one.
I think the Sun and Moon one's better.
All right, chat. Tell me, Sun and Moon, or is it 16? Are we going Sun and Moon or 16? Robin GL. Come on, I'll never pronounce her name again. Sorry. Dua to me means prayer, so that's why I pronounced it that way. It's like when people say Shia LaBeouf. Huh? What?
Pronunciation's never been your strong point.
Well, no, it's a different word to me, so it means something different to me. That's why I pronounce it that way. Yeah, Billy the Door says it's the worst one a lot, and we have to listen to Billy the Door, because he's certainly not a knob. No pun intended. Next.
Oh my god!
Next.
Do we have to cut that?
No, a doorknob. Come on. Okay,
Next.
Just do yourselves justice and watch the Japanese version of the XYZ opening, and I'll post it to my Twitter later.
No.
On. But
don't go watch the Japanese XYZ. Go watch the English cover of the XYZ intro, which I send it to you all the time. I'm like, this is my favorite intro, but it's not a proper one.
But it's not official.
No, it's not official, and we have to obviously deal with we have to talk about the official title. But seriously, if you've never heard it, go and check the English cover of the Japanese intro for XYZ.
Hang on, what's wrong with the Japanese intro, friend, buddy?
No, nothing's wrong with it. Buddy, but obviously, if you wanted to sing along,
okay, I'll post both to my Twitter. I'll post both to my Twitter.
You should.
Are you happy?
You should.
Are you happy now?
Yes, I am.
No, but the Japanese voice actor for Ash actually sings a song in the Japanese version, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, she does a lot of the songs herself, which is great. But yeah, where are we putting this one? Because I know the chat class certainly saying this is a banger. Robin GL says this sounds like a good Imagine Dragons song. Billy the Door puts an emote there with a hammer. I don't know if that's a band hammer, but Philip J. Woodward says I was going to love this one. I'm a bit torn on this one. Simply because I can't get the other one out of my head. So I need the chat to guide me, and you certainly need to guide me as to where you want to put this one.
It was another one where the first time I heard it, especially actually comparing it to the Japanese, I was like, oh, they've really let us down. And actually it really grew on me. And actually one of the things, it was really interesting because I played it for Sophie as well. And she actually said she preferred it to the Japanese one.
That's interesting.
Because she said it was just classier. Like not in the way the Japanese one isn't, but it was a different
I can
take
understand.
on it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just over the top energy and guitars, and it was actually a bit more style.
It's a lot more mellow
so
than the Japanese version. While the Japanese version is a lot more intense. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But I think I probably put it in the A tier. I don't think it's S tier, but I do think it's probably in the A tier.
Okay, so
the Japanese one is in the S tier.
Yeah. So Philip J. Woodward gives it an A, Clark gives it an S, and Al Dreisman gives it a B. And I think because you also wanted an A when you balance it out in the grand scheme of things, I think that turns out as an A. So it's going in the A tier. Now, the only thing is, does it go over Advanced Battle or does it stay behind it? I'd probably say stay behind it, but...
I think it goes behind it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it goes
behind it. I think we both agree on that one. Cool. Okay.
I think it's a really good tune, though.
And we've got another 8 openings to go, it seems. So let's listen to opening 22, which is the last one from... you fill time whilst I try to find the voice note for this that I sent you. Gus. Fill time. So
the bit of credit I have to give this is that it does encapsulate the Hawaiian theme much more than the other two, I would say. And it's the first one where I really was like, oh yeah, we're in a Hawaiian paradise. That makes sense. But I know it's unpopular. I know that a lot of people don't like it. I know a lot of people thought it was particularly weak, especially at the start, because it really does take time to get going. And then for some weird reason, it transitions from a female voice to a male voice, and you lose all the momentum along the way. But actually, I do think that it's nice that they made an effort to pick one that was, or create a theme that was really fitting with the Hawaiian theme. And I think it gets points for that.
Okay, I'm back, and this is my professional rendition of that opening that I sent you on WhatsApp.
Rise if you want to be champion of Alola, blah blah.
Yeah, it's going straight in the F tier. I haven't seen what the chat says, but I can't put it anywhere but F tier, right at the bottom. It's getting buried. It never existed.
Does it get any points for being culturally?
No, it gets nothing. It gets nothing, and I've lost the chat. So did the chat say anything about this opening?
So we have got F. Philip Woodward said, I like the fact they tried to go cultural with it, so C for cultural. Tribesman says F. You're putting it hard in the F tier, right?
It's a hard Brexit for this opening. It's a hard Brexit for the opening.
All right.
Yeah. So we'll go to the next one, and let's have a palate cleanser, please. So, what are we thinking about this one, buddy? He's still listening to it.
This might be, sorry, you're a couple of seconds ahead of Twitch, so I have to turn myself down every time I'm listening to it. Honestly, this could have been an original intro. Like, if the original intro had never existed, I would have been okay with this being the original intro, because I actually really like it. I think it's good in terms of tone and pace. I think it's a really nice, set of lyrics. But we have an original intro, right?
Yeah.
So it's not. But actually, I think in another world, if it had never existed, if the original intro had never existed, this could have been it. I actually really like it. I think it's S tier.
Okay, so we've got a few comments from the chat. We've got Klaus saying that, it's a B, but you can fight for it being an A. Robin GL says, I'll be honest, I was today years old when I realized there are different Pokemon openings. Welcome to Anime Robin. Philip J. Woodward says, this dream will never die, will rise to the challenge every time, minus S, but then he clarifies it's not a negative S, it's S tier. And the Tribesman also gives it an S tier, other than the Pokemon added. So maybe knock it down to an A again. Because why are they tackling on the title like that? Oh, it's a running theme. I think the latest opening that we're not going to play on this because it's part of the Journey series that is just brand new. Is the first one in a long time to knock off the Pokemon bit at the end. If I'm wrong, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's just a running theme in all the
This
Pokemon
stream will
intros.
never die. You're ridiculous.
It's a running thing for the Pokemon intros where they do a nice song and then at the end they just go Pokemon, and they're just like that's how we make it Pokemon themed.
Yeah, because the Pikachu doesn't make it obvious that this is not Digimon, it's Pokemon, of course.
Yeah, I don't know whether that's an English thing or whether the Japanese anime does it as well or a Western.
No, it's
Whether
not.
the Japanese anime does it as
No,
well.
they don't do it. They don't do it.
No. They're smarter than we are.
So what are we thinking? Because I was probably going to just put it at. Honestly, before this, I was probably going to put it B tier, but everyone's shouting for S tier.
I mean, I'm torn between is it the bottom of the S tier or the very top of the A tier. I think it might be S tier.
You know what? I'll put it S tier, but I'm going to put it at the bottom of S tier if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think bottom of the S tier is fair. I think it's one of those themes where actually it's you can't really fault it. It's really good.
Yeah, it is very good. It is very good, but I think we've still got some more to come, which are going to change people's minds. But let's go. Of the Diamond and Pearl stuff. So far,
I was not a fan of the other two Diamond and Pearl ones, but actually for me this is probably my least favorite of them.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, like it gets a little bit better at the end, but for me, it's probably one of my least favorites, and I would probably put it bottom of the C tier.
Yeah, I'm relying on the chat for this one because I can't really make up my mind here, and I'm not that passionate about it where I'm going to fight for it. So, you got Philip J. Woodward saying it's a C, Klaus saying it's a C, Believe the Door putting some Believe the Door emotes in there for the Pog champ. If you're a Twitch viewer, you know what Pog is. So yeah, I'll put it at bottom of C tier. And now we're going to opening 5. Oh! I didn't expect that. Where are we putting this, boy?
Oh,
I have to remember to fill in a couple of seconds for you. So
yes,
whilst we catch your breath back from that excellent introduction of an opening theme, we've got Billy the Door saying, "Don't you mean a Philip J. Woodward original Porg Champ?" And yes, I do mean a Philip J. Woodward original Porg Champ. Go to him for your commissions. But Robin GL says S for Totodile, Klaus says S. Strep as high as possible, follows on by Klar. And yeah, I don't know if Tribesman was saying C for the last one or for this one, but I've got to agree, it's S tier. It's definitely S tier, and I think it goes next to Johto.
I think it probably goes behind number 3.
Yeah, exactly.
But I agree.
Yeah.
I agree that it's S tier. I definitely agree it's S tier.
Absolutely, I have to actually start like zooming out of this browser because of how big these icons are. I don't know if I can change it or anything. Never mind. Okay. Any comments from the chat? Tribesman says it's an S, and Philip J. Woodward says it's a B with a Mewtwo emote from the Pokemon fighting game, which is escaping my mind right now, which we literally talked about last week. Pokken Tournament, of course.
Pokken Tournament.
Robin's heading out, so take care, Robin. And we'll leave Robin with this really had to wrestle with, because it starts off so epic. It starts off so epic, and then it kind of transitions a bit, but now I'm starting to like it all of a sudden.
it does grow on you. It does grow on you. And again, it's one of those things where when you listen to it for a whole season, you start to really get to enjoy it. I don't think it's definitely not S tier.
Yeah, no. I would have personally said it's high B tier.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with high B tier.
So
I
class
think
says it's a
behind. I think
sorry.
it's behind Pokemon World though.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd even put it behind advanced, to be honest with you. But class says it's A tier. Robin GL says it's S tier. Billy Doors A tier, and Tribesman gives it a C. So I think we're pretty justified in putting it in B tier in that case, given the scoring of the chat and our own opinions. Yeah. I think B is probably fair, and I'll put it above 21, behind 6. Or is there anything you want to say about this?
I think I agree with you on that.
Yeah. Okay. We'll put it
At
there.
what point can we just drop Diamond and Pearl back to C tier where they belong?
We'll ask at the end. Just straight away from my mind, what I'm thinking right now is what an excellent opening. And there's some shots in the video where it just really hits me when you see, you know, some of the Johto gym leaders standing up on those cliffs, like Morty with like Claire. You know, it's just so epic. You see Ash's shiny Noctowl. You see Totodile, which Robin would say this is an S because it's got the Totodile. And the song itself is just really good. I mean, it begins really slow with the sort of ode to the original.
I was actually going to say that I really like the beginning bit where Cyndaquil, Totodile, and Chikorita show up.
Yeah,
I actually really like it. For me, I mean, even, like before we started playing these, before I went back and watched them, when I was thinking what my favorite one was, this was the one in my head. So for me, this is probably sitting behind number 1.
Wow.
I think it's that high in the S tier.
Wow. Well, we've got a few opinions in the chat. We've got Class saying it's S, no argument. Tribesman just shutting down Clown saying no. Just Billy Adore says Steelix looks like such a goober. Leave Steelix alone. Leave Britney alone. Philip J. Woodward says the animation's an A, but the song is a C at best. And I think it's definitely just because of the beginning and how they do the beginning of that song. It does sound a bit weird and distorted. I'm very much tempted to give it A tier.
You hurt me.
Hey, I was hurt with the Pokemon world.
I can't argue with democracy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is in my personal list. This is probably my favorite intro of all time.
Oh, really?
I don't know whether
that's interesting.
I don't know whether that's partly a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's just because that was the age where I was really getting into the Pokemon
anime.
Look,
I personally would have put it behind the original Johto theme.
I'm not gonna. I can see that the chat's got mixed views.
You know what? Robin GL said it's an S because of the Totodile, so we're just going to put it behind Pokemon Johto in S tier. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, look, Robin GL's left us, but he always used to say if there's a Totodile, it's an S. And look, when we add things up, it just balances out to an S. Please don't unfollow. We'll listen to the next one. Bad 3DS render of a game intro. Number 1.
Because they were trying to black and white 3D elements.
Oh god, it was it's something.
It's a rough theme. And of all the intros, probably the least visually exciting.
Yeah.
Although I like the fact that they tried a different art style.
Yeah.
But you can't pick a different art style and then just have nothing happening in your intro.
Yeah. Apart from Pikachu floating.
It's probably my least favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably gonna go.
It's probably the one I'm going to put at the bottom.
Ultra Legends is still right down at the bottom, but yeah, I'll put it as a second bottom.
All right, fair enough.
Ultraman says my heart definitely knows what's right.
Actually, I do have to say, Clara in the chat makes a really good point, and I'd forgotten that when the Black and White series was happening, those Pokemon were originally silhouettes. Oh. And as they revealed them in the show, they revealed them in the intro, which was super cool. I do agree with that.
That's really cool because you see Pikachu.
Really, really cool touch.
You see Pikachu in the introduction, going around and looking at the different Pokemon. So for them to be filled up with color and stuff like that, like a fighting game when you're trying to unlock those characters that are just like black silhouettes. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So as the Tepig episode happened, which I think was episode 5 or something. Tepig then was, shown in the intro, which was a really cool touch, actually. That's well, thank you for reminding us, Clark, because it was a really cool thing.
Philip J. Woodward said he left for that one. And I think he probably left for good reason. He knew what was coming. He absolutely knew what was coming. So yeah, I think we're just going to leave it down at the F tier. Because
All right, what's next?
so this is the last one. Are you sad? It's nearly over. Okay, so this one I always struggle with because I think from the first generation of songs to the last generation, not last generation, to the last of like the Ruby and Sapphire songs, those are the sort of songs I can actually sing along to. Past that, it's a bit of a struggle. So I'm not too sure.
I think I could do them all. I think I could sing along to them all.
I wouldn't be surprised, especially you being related to Vitz. I don't know if people know that, but Amit over here is Vitz's cousin. Yeah,
That's how we met.
Yeah,
that's how we met.
That's a story for another podcast.
Yes.
For sure. I don't know what to put.
I like it. I like it. Can I also, just on a side point, forget the intro for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Battle Frontier, best standalone series of the anime. Don't at me. It's brilliant. Go watch it.
I don't know how to define that, but
XYZ is great.
Yeah.
But if you want to see like Ash at his most inventive, creative, watching him do the Battle Frontier is probably the most fun I've had. I need to get
like a soundboard just so I can have like a Trump wrong, you know. No, it definitely is one of the more standout series from the lot because of what happens in that series and how Ash sort of evolves during that sort of a part of the series and how it ends. I don't want to spoil it just in case someone does get bitten by Pokemon fever and decides they want to go watch the anime again. But yeah, it's definitely one of the better series. I have to agree.
He's 3 matches with Brandon. Again, I won't spoil anything. He's 3 matches with Brandon. Some of the most fun to watch battles that he's ever done. Yeah. Particularly the third one.
Mm. And for all that we give Ash about, you know, the league tournaments and stuff like that, let's not forget the Battle Frontier is probably even a notch higher than actual league tournaments. It's very, very,
because
very
he
difficult.
essentially fights what is the equivalent of the Elite Four.
Yeah, and we're not going to reveal anything past that, but yeah, definitely one of the some of the greatest fights actually are from the Battle Frontier when I think about it.
Like Nolan's fight is incredible.
Yeah.
Brandon's fights are incredible. I really liked the Battle Pike with its double battle. No, not Battle Pike. Not arena.
We'll move on.
With the 2-on-2.
Where are we putting this, buddy? So our tribesman in the chat says A. Yes, A. Philip J. Woodward says A. Billy Dawes says C. And Clark says S. So we've got a mixed bag there. But
I don't think it's S tier.
No. So I think most of the people are saying it's A tier. How would you feel about putting it A tier?
A tier is probably right, but I wonder if it's bottom of the A tier. I really like the XYZ intro.
Yeah, I can deal with that. I think the chat wouldn't be too upset. And because Clark did give it a C, Billy the Dog did give it a C, we'll have to respect that C and put it at the bottom of A tier. And there we are, people. We have ranked the Pokemon openings. Now, is there anything in this list that you think should change?
Yeah, move Diamond and Pearl down to C.
I'm actually proud of I can't believe there's actually a Sun and Moon intro as high as that. Literally. But no, I have to give it props.
It's a good intro. Good intro.
So that's our Pokemon opening rankings. I will post a couple of links on my Twitter later on to the XYZ intros, XYZ intros, or Z if you're British, that we talked about earlier. But yeah, no. So S tier, we've got the first opening, the third opening, the fourth opening, the fifth opening, and the seventh opening.
It's a sign really that they started so well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And for some reason it just slid down from there. A tier, we've got the 17th opening, we've got the 8th opening, we've got the 19th opening, and the 9th opening. B tier, we've got the 2nd opening, we've got the 6th opening, we've got the 18th opening, and the 21st opening. C tier, we've got the first opening, the 11th opening, the 13th, could you imagine if the first opening was there?
I know.
The 11th opening, the 13th opening, the 10th opening, and then the 12th opening. And F in the chat for 15, 20, 16, 14, and 22. Yeah, they did very much slide down the hill and lost the sort of consistency they had with the first few generations with the Pokemon opening tier.
The only redeeming thing about that fact is actually I really like the Journeys one. So they picked it up again.
Any closing thoughts before we move on, buddy?
No, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was nice.
And I
The
think
trip down memory lane.
it would be interesting if we can, one of these days actually do things like Elite Four themes from the game series and stuff like that. I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I really like about doing episodes like this is I feel like it's a lot. And although I love doing the news, I love making silly jokes about the news. I love sharing my thoughts on what's happening. Sometimes it's really nice to just take a trip down memory lane, and for me at least, remind myself why this is a series that I've been following for the best part of 25 years.
Yeah.
All of my life, and it's nice to do episodes like this, and I hope we do some more as we go forwards. As the kind of news allows us to, because it's good fun.
Yeah, it's actually been quite heavy since we rebooted the podcast, the amount of news that's come out in the past few weeks. So we really haven't had a time to have a little break and a little kickback and, have a look at the past rather than constantly looking forward at what's happening next.
Yeah, and we've talked about, I mean, certainly before we rebooted the podcast, we talked about episodes that we wanted to have. Like, I want to have an episode at some point where I justify why PokePark Wii 2 has the best combat mechanics of any Pokemon game ever.
I'm sure no one will fall asleep.
I'm looking forward to the chat reaction on that. PokePark Wii 2, if you've not played it, absolutely well worth it. Go and check it out. Purely for the combat. But, lots to come in the future from both of us. I'm looking forward to it.
Buddy, we now go to the section that everyone's been waiting for, and so we'll play the section theme. Where the Helioptile Pokemon sleep. So, there's no real update here. I think we're both hoping that the music was loud enough to wake up the developers to actually get back to developing the app that everyone's waiting for.
Just like the Pokemon Company, we have made you wait the entire episode for nothing, no news at all.
No, yeah, exactly. And I really didn't want to have to resort to my Owl of Klefki singing, so they need to, get on with this application, because otherwise everyone suffers. Everyone will suffer.
You're out of Klefki singing.
Yeah. It sounds
How do
like
you do it? How do you do it so quickly?
I think you're going to explode.
It's a gift.
Yeah, no, it is a gift. But enough of that, Chatot. We're going to go to the next section.
Stop!
It's time for Unknown Fact of the Week. What have you got for me this week?
Yeah, so today is a very special day.
Yes,
I don't know those of you who keep up with Pokemon news, but today's a very auspicious day. Because today is the day that one of the most important Pokemon in Pokemon history was discovered. So if you go into Cinnabar Mansion and head downstairs, you will find the researcher who says on July 5th, we discovered the Pokemon Mew. And that is your unknown fact of the week. Is July 5th is the day that Mew was discovered. Really interesting addition to this fact, though, and if you look on screen, you can see it. It references Mew being discovered in South America, which is a continent that we don't believe exists in the Pokemon world. Certainly, they've never made reference to it. Although it's insinuated that Lieutenant Surge is from America, and that there are obviously similarities between like Unova in America and
Kanto being an actual
Kalos.
place.
Yeah, Kanto being Japan, Kalos being France. There's obviously like lots of references to them being real places. The only two really sort of references to Earth as we know it is this one here on your screen about Mew being discovered in South America, and Lieutenant Surge obviously being this ambassador for America and being sort of an all-American rock star. So it's really strange that Pokemon have never really come back to this and kind of clarified it in any way. And I thought that actually Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution might have been a chance for them to do that, but no, they sort of gloss over the fact that Mew was discovered in South America. So maybe we'll have to wait and see when we have a Brazil or Argentinian or hey, maybe even a whole South American themed Pokemon game to find out a bit more.
I feel like we're going to India next, to be honest with you, just because of Copperaj's existence. Yeah, just because of Copperaj's existence.
How interesting.
Yeah.
We actually missed, by the way, that there was a distribution in parts of Europe for Copperajah. And it's still running in, I think it's Japan, and also Ireland. So
Nah.
if you want to go and get a G-Max Cooperaja Dynamax crystal,
What did you just call
you
it?
would either... what did I say?
Are you driving a Cooper Roger? What?
Yeah, I'm driving a Cooperaja.
It's copper. What color is copper, buddy? It's green.
Cooperaja. How do you pronounce it?
Copper Roger.
Cooperaja.
Yeah.
Listen, because it's not been,
Roger.
because it's not been in the English anime yet. It's fair game.
It's
Until it's
not-
in the English anime.
No, the
it's
English
fair game.
anime doesn't mean anything. There's so many pronunciation mistakes they make, okay? We're moving on to the next section. Hang on. This is any other business. So your any other business was this distribution with the Mini Cooper.
What? Any other business? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's just basically any other business I get before we end the podcast.
I don't think so.
No.
I've got some fun news for next week that we'll talk about in more detail, but I will save that for next week, I think.
No teaser? You're not going to give people a little tickle?
I have dabbled in a Pokemon game that we talked about a lot on the podcast that I forever and always say that I adore, and I kind of said to myself, well, if I adore it so much, why don't I go back to playing it? So I've gone back to playing it, and I'll talk more about why and my experiences with it next week.
Great. Well, until next time, people, this has been the PokeRamble Podcast. Where can they find us, Amit?
You can find the PokeRamble Podcast on Spotify, PokeRamble Podcast, on YouTube, also PokeRamble Podcast, or join us live every Sunday evening, 7:30 p.m. British Summer Time or 6:30 p.m. Universal Central Time. We record the podcast live on twitch.tv/KumailH. That's KUMAILH. Come join us live. This was a great episode to have a live audience for. It was great to get you all giving us your thoughts on the theme songs, and I'm sure we'll have lots of episodes like this in the future. So please do come and join us live. It means the world to both of us. We were saying after last week's episode on Twitch, because we do a very brief little kind of off the record chat with Twitch afterwards. It's so nice to have people join us live, and thank you to everyone who's listening on Spotify, people who are listening on YouTube. It's really nice to have such an intro, and to have people who want to share, the love of Pokemon with us. It's really special. So
if you go on any longer, it's going to take me 4 hours to upload this podcast. just before I got off the live recording and talk to the Twitch chat, can you just tell me where we are in the Spotify rankings? Because last time you checked, we were 64th, weren't we?
Yeah, do you know what? I haven't checked this week. I will have to update you for next week on where we are in the Spotify rankings. Yeah. But if you haven't, go and subscribe to us on Spotify. We want to get ourselves to be the #1 Pokemon podcast in the world.
I mean, I'll be happy with top 50, to be fair.
Listen, #1. I don't settle for less. And as soon as we can get merch that isn't copyright infringement, we'll do that too.
He wants to be the very best, like no one ever was. Thank you for listening to the PokeRamble Podcast. Till next week, people.